Welcome to TMZ Live. Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans model who was accused of murdering her boyfriend, got an unbelievable plea deal. It is shocking. She faced life in prison, and now she is going to get out in about a year and a half.
In about a year and a half, because the plea deal she struck was revealed today. At the same time, they revealed her sentencing in a Miami court, and we found out the plea deal was manslaughter. She has pled guilty to manslaughter in the killing of Christian Abumseli, and that means part of the deal was also made with prosecutors that she would get 6 years.
Now, mind you, the maximum for manslaughter in Florida is 30 years. So giving her 6 is pretty amazing. And then she's served to this day, to the day, she's served 4 years. And so with credits, she is going to get out in a year and a half. That is what you call a sweet plea deal.
So how they got down, that's what I don't understand about this plea deal. And Christian Abumseli's family, they were in court as well. They
signed off on it.
And they had signed off on it. The prosecutor said, we've met with the victim's family.
With one exception, which we'll get into.
Right.
But I have to say that...
To get from 30 years all the way down
let's
to
talk
6.
life. Let's just talk life.
Well, yes.
That if they would have prosecuted her, you are rolling the dice, because she did kill him. She says it was self-defense. And this is, if you know, the wild story that she was an OnlyFans model. He was kind of managing her. They had an incredibly toxic relationship. And that's video.
Several instances where police were called.
Body cam video where she is a just bloody mess after stabbing him, which she said self-defense. Prosecutors didn't buy it. So in addition to rolling the dice, if they had a hung jury, she'd be in for 2 more years before a retrial. Mm-hmm. So this gets her out really fast.
Yeah, and I know that prosecutors said that the family signed off on it. I'm really surprised by that. I'm really surprised, considering, take away, you're right, that she could have gotten life. But even if she's agreeing to plead guilty to manslaughter, why not, when it could get as much as 30 years, why wouldn't prosecutors say, no, we want her to serve 10 years?
Because there was a weakness in the prosecutor's case, too. The argument of self-defense was not just made up of whole cloth. There was something there. Now, I'm not saying it would have prevailed, but they were both aggressive toward each other. And, you know, I think the prosecutors realized they were rolling the dice, and it's better for them to get a manslaughter than to lose on murder.
And I know what you're saying, that because of all the other domestic violence incidents, that they were concerned about that. But what's interesting is that the prosecutor said the family did sign off on this. But do we have the audio of his mother? Listen to what she said about Courtney, and she certainly makes a reference to those domestic violence incidents.
Words can never fully explain how Christian's death has affected my life and the lives of everyone in our family. There is simply too much pain to put on paper. For more than 4 years, we've lived with the loss every day and waited for accountability. Today closes a legal chapter, but it certainly doesn't close our grief. No sentence, no plea can bring back my son to me. We have endured this loss while much of Christian's life and death have been discussed publicly and inaccurately to support a narrative created by Courtney, the person who took my son's life. There are parts of our grief that belong only to us, and I choose to keep those things within our family.
A narrative created by Courtney. It is very clear she's saying they disagree with this.
That he was aggressive.
Depiction that he was an aggressive
For sure,
abuser.
and I think that would have been a long-standing trial for them as well. I mean, you can see before it even begun, they took a moment and each family member of Christian's family stood up. They were named and present before the proceedings even started. So it's interesting to see, like, Courtney making eye contact with them. They're looking at Courtney, like, usually sometimes family members don't even want to see them, and seeing Courtney get so emotional too as the victims, you know.
Well, so here's what's undeniable. They lived in Houston, then moved to Miami. There were neighbors we interviewed for a documentary we did on this, who said the building shook with the fights that were going on in that house between Christian and Courtney. And it didn't get any better in Miami.
Yeah.
So this was undeniably
all those
a
people
toxic relationship.
would have been called in and probably would have testified.
Well, also, Courtney has to do 5 years of substance abuse as well, because that was a big topic
Substance
throughout
abuse
the entire.
counts, domestic violence counseling.
Still better than life
5
in
years of
prison.
probation after, but that's, you know, again, that doesn't start until she's got to serve another, like you said, a year and a half or so.
Our live stream is very in agreement with you guys that they're surprised that the family signed off. They're wondering, even though the family signed off on the plea deal, if they wanted to file any kind of lawsuit against Courtney, can they?
They could have filed a wrongful death. The statute of limitations, I think, would have run by now. I'm not
it is
positive,
interesting that
but it's 4 years later.
It is interesting they never did file one.
She may not have had anything.
Yeah.
But the big bone of contention now is the family does not want Courtney to profit off of this once she gets out.
The prosecutors made that clear. They said that the Son of Sam laws, and has a different name in Florida, but essentially a Son of Sam law that prevents someone who kills someone from making money off of that.
So could she go back to OnlyFans?
That's what the chat is asking, because they're saying that she was on OnlyFans, so that's not necessarily
no, she could go
but
back.
now people know her
But
name.
And they only want
they're
to click on
concerned
her
about writing a
OnlyFans.
book, doing a movie, something like that. Her lawyers are saying we are going to challenge this because we think it's unconstitutional. So this part isn't over yet, and there's going to be a big fight between Christian's family and Courtney's family.
With the OnlyFans thing, the chat is saying because of her popularity now, or because people know her as the murderer of Christian,
Her popularity will go up.
popularity, would that constitute as her
No.
making money based off of the case?
No,
Interesting.
she could do that.
Hi, it's Millie Chan from Dallas. I absolutely understand why those parents were looking at her in the eyes like that, because they wanted them to know that they know. You know what I mean? And we don't know what was going on behind closed doors with this couple. And it could have been as bad as it was. It could have been one-sided. We don't know. But at the same time, I don't think that she should profit at all from this. And like you said, you know, we know her now. She's on television. This is on TMZ. So people are going to be tuned in. There has to be some type of gag order that she can get in order to just let him rest in peace, because she's put him there. Let him stay there.
There won't be a gag order. The issue is, can she profit? And that's what they're going to fight
The
over.
family doesn't want it. Prosecutors have said that they will fight against it. But like you said, her attorney said they think it's unconstitutional.
Right.
That'll be very interesting. Again, this is down the road when she gets
Could
out.
go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg's mega yacht vacation has turned into a PR nightmare for him because the crew of his yacht.
Is that a yacht or an ocean liner?
Actually, there is a bigger ship that stepped in when Mark's crew of his yacht refused to go answer a distress call from a much smaller boat that
They ran out of gas.
ran out of fuel and was just listing in the water off of Alaska,
So
waiting for help. And
his boat's cruising along. They see this other boat.
by the way, so we should say his boat is about 387 feet or something.
Right.
The boat that was in distress is about 21 feet.
Yeah. And so
A dinghy.
what they could have done, well, prop for him,
Relative, yes.
they could have just towed it in, but they didn't.
They didn't answer the call, and instead, the distress call was answered by a cruise ship. So a cruise ship, the Wilderness Legacy, ended up going up to the distressed boat and towing them to safety.
Now it's harder.
But
It's harder for a cruise ship like that to position itself than.
although
than,
that cruise ship, I honestly, when I read the story and I thought cruise ship, I was thinking like a
No, I know,
Carnival
but it's
cruise,
still
but
big.
still big. Mark's might be bigger than that cruise ship. But anyway,
No.
is probably pretty close. But anyway,
Bad move for a billionaire.
the captain of the cruise ship basically shamed Mark Zuckerberg because he announced to everyone on board that Zuckerberg's
Can you
yacht
go-
did not answer the
Did you see
distress
how-
call.
Did you see how beautiful that is?
Yeah, Alaska's
Oh my God.
wonderful in the summer.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
Someone just had a vacation idea. Anyway.
Wow.
So, yes, the captain of that boat did shame Zuckerberg's crew, and Zuckerberg saying that, oh, his cruise ship wouldn't go answer the call, so we did. Now, Zuckerberg's representatives want to make something clear. He had nothing to do with this. They said Mark and his family were not on board at the time of the incident. As the Coast Guard noted, the boat was not in distress, just out of fuel. And by the time the crew reviewed the Coast Guard contact,
What does that mean?
on a different radio channel from the one they were operating on, the assist was already underway. We are grateful all parties are safe.
Kind of threw his crew under the bus.
One, Mark is not there. He didn't make any of these decisions. His crew did, and then there's the effort to absolve the crew as well by saying
weak.
They were reviewing
weak. What the hell
the
does
Coast
that?
Guard
Okay,
contact.
here's how you review it. That guy's stuck. That guy can't move. He can't move. Do we want to tow him or
You're
not
a
tow
boat
him?
captain all of a sudden. What do you know about the open sea?
I was a huge fan of Captain
Yeah,
Tennille.
exactly. This is
Yes.
so unfair. Not only was
No.
he not even there, but like, what is he supposed to control? What
This
his
is
crew
a
members are
bad
doing?
time for billionaires. And he should tell his crew, be gracious if you see something like that. Because
Always help
there are a
because it
lot
can
of
only
people.
help me.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I also brought this up
Yes.
this morning. How often do people, when you see someone broken down on the side of the road, do you go and help?
That's
That's
different.
exactly-
Broken down the side of the
How
road
is
is
it
different.
That's what
from-
our chat is
That's
saying.
not.
That's
This is
not
not
the
picking
same
up a
thing.
hitchhiker.
Because somebody
It's on-
gets
It's
out
not
of the
picking
car.
up a hitchhiker.
Yeah, it's
They're
different.
towing a boat.
It
What
is
are they going to
different.
do?
They're also saying
Climb on the tow
it's
rope
not-
and then jump up and
It's not on
commandeer your ship?
Zuckerberg. It's on his crew. You should have a good.
He
person
wasn't
But
there
he's
to save
responsible
people.
for the crew.
Yes, that is fair.
He's
He
responsible.
does a lot
Hold
of
on,
really
hold on a
cringe
second.
things. This thing is unfair to get
How
blamed for.
responsible is he for the crew when, let's say, I mean,
What is he saying when he says they had to review it? You see a boat that's
well,
stuck.
Oh, I
the-
don't know
hold
if
on.
that's how it works.
The interesting part of it, they said they had to review it and that it came in on a channel that they weren't on normally. So they're pointing out that they missed the initial distress call.
Name a Captain and Tennille song. Name
Let's
one.
move on.
Name one.
You can
Who
name
is
one.
that?
Name
Captain
one.
and Tennille. I don't even
there's
know
like
who the
one
hell
or two
that
songs you
is.
should
Oh
come
my
up with.
God.
Captain and Tennille.
Oh,
Who?
Muskrat Love? Love will keep us together?
What does this have to do with the open ocean
It's the
and
captain.
boat rescue?
Because the captain is half of it.
The Captain and Tennille.
My name is Audra from Indiana, and for Mark Zuckerberg to his captain and crew alike, just ride right past people who are clearly in distress is very touchy in this climate, especially with tech billionaires. I think at the very least, he could have offered one or two ways. You know, these people do use his app. So I find it very interesting in this climate how he responded, and if he'll take full credit for any of it, and if he could have done something, at the very least, say, hey, would have probably been a lot better than just riding past.
For sure. Do that to me one more time.
Do that
One more.
to me one more.
One more.
Coming up.
The murder trial for Tupac Shakur is beginning in Las Vegas.
The prosecution's star witness is the defendant.
Keefe D has done interviews, he's written a book, confesses to these things. Keefe D is now sort of taking back some of those statements.
I didn't write that book. Be right back.
Well, a mere 30 years later, the murder trial for Tupac Shakur is beginning in Las Vegas. Yes, it is actually, we're about a month shy of the 30-year anniversary of that shooting in Las Vegas when Tupac, this was after a Mike Tyson fight. Tupac had gotten into a fight at the MGM Grand. He and Suge Knight get into a car, and a couple blocks later, someone opens fire. The trial, the man who was standing trial, Keefe D,
He was not the shooter,
not the shooter,
but they say he orchestrated it. He
And
bought
that
the
he-
gun, put the gun in the white Cadillac, and that he's the one that kind of engineered it.
And it was a relative of his who, as the police believe, that the prosecutors believe that is a relative of his who was the actual trigger man, but that Keefe D actually.
And he's dead.
Yes, and he died, a few months after.
Right. So
after Tupac.
what's interesting about the trial is that the prosecution's star witness is the defendant.
Right. And Keefe D has done interviews. He's written a book, or at least there is a book that appears to have been written by him, where he confesses to these things,
And
where he
has-
says...
and has talked about it.
Right, and he's
elsewhere.
talked about it on podcasts, so it would seem like he's already confessed. This should be an easy case. Well, Keefe D is now sort of taking back some of those statements and saying that he's not necessarily responsible for them. He spoke to our affiliate in Las Vegas this weekend. They went to the jail where he's being held and talked to him about that book that he wrote.
I read your book, Compton Street Legend, that you co-authored. Why did you feel the need to tell your story? And when you wrote it, did you ever imagine the situation you'd be in now?
I didn't write that book. I just told him 10 things in my life and gave him some pictures. I never read it or nothing. I wasn't even in Las Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't in Vegas when this stuff happened. I just said that stuff to get out of trouble.
So you were not in Las Vegas, you're saying September 7th, 1996?
No, I wasn't.
That's not really the issue.
Him not being in Vegas doesn't...
His presence doesn't really matter for the charges.
It is so shocking to me that on the eve of jury selection, he's talking to reporters.
It's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What is the rationale? To try to change the court of public opinion on the eve of trial and sort of recant the narrative that's out there? I don't
he's
really
saying
understand.
The narrative that he put out there.
I know, but it's always been attached to him. So on the eve of trial, he's now pulling it.
And what the problem is, he can say that it was a ghostwriter and that he didn't actually write that book. But the things in the book, he has repeated himself in interviews.
On podcasts and so forth. He's been outspoken about this.
There's also a time when he spoke to police when he was arrested.
Now, that can be consistent with him not feeling he's responsible in any way for
didn't pull
Tupac's
the
murder.
trigger.
He's not the trigger man in some sense, he's saying, I didn't end Tupac's
Prosecutors
life.
acknowledge
They've
that
acknowledged
he
that.
didn't pull the trigger.
That's right. Their theory of the case is that he's responsible because he acquired the gun and gave it to the person who did do it.
Suge Knight was in the car. He has refused to testify. So Suge knows a lot, but he's just
Every time
not
we have
talking.
spoken to Suge, and we've spoken to him quite a bit since he is, while he's in prison here in California, but he has certainly intimated that he knows things, but has also done what Suge does and says, look, street law is, I'm not telling people, I'm not telling police what I know.
Right.
Hi, my name is Beatty from Oakland, California. I think it's crazy that almost after 30 years, Tupac's murder is finally going to trial. Listen, Keefe D spent years publicly talking about his involvement, and some of those statements could actually be used against him.
Oh, they will.
At this point...
not may, they will.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I just want to see if we're finally going to get the answers we've been looking for.
Well, I don't think you're going to get answers. I think you may get a verdict.
You may get a verdict, and you know how this works, that whatever the verdict is, the conspiracy theorists will say, we don't actually know the answers yet. And
well, we know he was not the shooter.
Right.
So even if they convict him, we don't know. We'll never get to the bottom of that.
Big announcement from Brad Pitt. He is back on the bottle.
Yeah.
I know that actually sounds a little bit harsher than I think it should to say he's back in the bottle, but he's saying
It's true. It's true.
He had been sober, completely sober for 7 years, and he says that now he is here and there will have a glass or two of wine and feels like he understands his limits now and that this isn't going to be a problem for him. This is something we've heard other people refer to as California sober.
I don't even know that this is California sober.
Actually, usually California sober is...
It's usually
you can have
marijuana, gummies, something like that.
Right.
So this is odd because my recollection is that back in the day, he had a real problem that he even acknowledged.
It's part of why it's, to something else that's been happening, his children dropping his name. We know that he has no relationship with them really right now. But some of that dates back to his issues with alcohol. So,
well, as a matter of fact, on that plane flight.
On the plane flight, right.
Supposedly he had been drinking.
The story is that he had been drinking. So this is what he told Esquire about this decision to start drinking again. He said, I was sober for 7 years, and then I got back off the wagon in a more restrained manner. I got overconfident a couple times, went, yep, nope, not good for me, not in big quantities. I can have a few glasses of wine, but I can't have a lot. I have to be professional about it.
What does that mean, professional about it?
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, what I hear,
odd way.
This is the odd thing I can hear, it sounds like there's a struggle. Like even now, there's a struggle for him. So
totally.
If you are struggling that way, wouldn't the better thing be to just not have it? I don't understand. I don't get this
I
decision.
gotta say, you hit the nail on the head. This is a struggle that he feels like he needs it. And look, that it's his life. He can do what he wants. But if somebody has a real alcohol problem, it's physiological as much as anything. And to think that in stressful times, you're limited to 2, I don't know.
I mean, he relies on it. That's how I see it. It's like he can't imagine a world without it. And
well, he did for 7 years.
I wonder, is it a social thing that like being at different
It
events?
could be. I mean, he's got a girlfriend now. They go out, they go to dinner. You have a couple glasses of wine at dinner.
Because I have no idea
Doesn't mean he's necessarily abusing it, I guess.
I don't
like
know what
he used to.
Inez, whether she drinks or not, but if she does, I know that sometimes I've seen that as a thing where it's a bit of a struggle for couples if one of them is completely sober and the other isn't. Sometimes. Yeah, it could. I don't know if that's what's happening here because I don't know anything about her. She might be sober also. So.
Unfortunately, it's just a slippery slope because when you have an addiction to something, you are always addicted. It's not something that can be cured, that goes away.
Right. True.
It's always going to be a slippery slope. So even if he's like, oh, I can control myself and just have one drink, it's really dangerous, not just to himself, but to the people around him too when he has an issue.
And again, he might be able to control it, but then the issue is when he gets stressed out, when it's like 2 becomes 3,
Will
becomes
he be
4.
able to be professional about it?
And I don't know,
Right.
professional,
as he put it.
weird way of putting it.
I really think, though, it does involve the kids. I mean, the interviewer tried to have him elaborate
He wouldn't talk
on,
about it.
and he said, I think I'm just going to leave it at family stuff, is what he said, and let's leave it at that.
Chad is wondering why he even feels the need to announce that, what this is going to bring publicly, announcing that he is going back to alcohol, even if it's...
I think they asked him about it.
I think they asked him about it, and maybe they asked him about it because, again, he goes to a lot of industry events, and if someone
So they see
him drinking a glass of wine, they may be wondering, hey, what's going on?
Right.
I thought he was sober, so...
Yeah, hi. I'm Marquand from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I just want to say it's crazy to think that somebody that's been sober for this long would choose to get back into drinking. Usually when people do suffer from addiction like that, we look at it like a permanent stop. But it's easy to say that and think that. But Brad Pitt, just like all the other celebrities, they're also human. So it's just best to give him grace and let him, figure this out as he works through it.
Yeah, I mean, it was his decision to be sober, and it's his decision to get back on it. It's up to him. You just hope that it works out, whatever choices he makes.
Coming up.
You know what the word is in D.C. these days?
About Mitch McConnell?
Mum. Mum
Mum
is the
on
word.
McConnell?
Mum is the word.
Our TMZ DC guy, Charlie, was outside of Mitch McConnell's home when his chief of staff walked out.
Is he just going to release a video at some point to reassure Kentuckians?
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
You know what the word is in D.C. these days?
About Mitch McConnell?
Mum. Mum
Mum
is the
on
word.
McConnell?
Mum is the word.
Mum on Mitch. That is definitely the word, even though the senator, of course, is out of the hospital now, out of the rehab center. And so you would think he's at home. There should be some update on his health. Well, our TMZ DC guy, Charlie, was outside of Mitch McConnell's home when his chief of staff walked out. So there's a guy who knows.
Well,
obviously, he'll give us an update.
Well, he's the guy that has the connection, and he's political.
He's the
So, of
person you would
course-
expect to give an
course.
update on how the senator is doing.
And he was coming
Is he
from
coming
his
back
house,
to work?
so we
Right.
would know.
Well, here we go.
Hi, sir. How are you? I'm from TMZ. I was just wondering, have you got any update on Mitch? How's he doing? Is he recovering at all now that he's home? Is he hoping to make it back for the next congressional session, sir? Sir, is he just going to release a video at some point to reassure Kentuckians? Okay. Thank you, mate.
Chief of Staff Terry Cormack.
I thought Charlie did a good job there. I mean, he asked the right questions.
He asked the right questions. And again, that last question is the most important one. What about the people that Senator McConnell is representing, supposedly?
He went in the hospital June 14th.
They deserve an update more than anybody else.
It is going on 2 months now where they have not said a word about Mitch McConnell's condition.
And it's kind of ridiculous that they just haven't even made a video.
What are you doing here?
What? I came to say hi.
I'm sorry, TMZ DC. You abandoned ship?
You didn't hear that they're on recess for the next 3 weeks?
Charlie's still there.
I'm working.
Charlie's still there.
I'm here.
Charlie's there.
Charlie's there.
Okay, we don't need both of us there.
Well, then why do we have you there?
Exactly.
Because now you got a little bit of both. We have one on each coast.
You know what?
People are on vacation right now. You want to go to where people are on vacation. So when we find out that someone's in LA, guess who's already ready to go?
And who'd you find out?
I'm only here 1 day yet, so it's,
He's working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but seriously, I mean, you would expect the chief of staff, like when you guys are trying to get information about something going on with a representative, don't you call people in their offices?
They don't. These people, they are hired to not talk. These people who work for members of Congress, they are hired to just shut everyone down. So you'll never get anything from them. But it's coming to a point now where all these members of Mitch McConnell's staff are becoming targets. People are lined up outside his house all day long. When these people walk in the hallways, they're getting berated because there's been such a lack of transparency on what's going on.
But in a
everyone's
way,
getting fed up.
In a way, it's not their fault because if they get an order from Mitch McConnell, what are they going to do?
No, I agree. I think their hands are tied. But it's just, as this has been going on, their salaries are getting put on social media, and everyone's thinking, hey, that person makes over $200 grand, and they're not saying anything.
Well, the reason they're saying that is if they're making a lot of money and the state is not being represented, it's fair.
Because the state's paying those people.
That's what our chat is saying. They're saying if you work in politics, you work for the people, so they should be commenting on the situation. You owe it.
This is so bad that he is an old guy who is in bad health and represents people who deserve representation if they're being taxed, and they're not getting it. And, you know, it's 2 months now.
Yeah.
Got to take it back to 1776.
Well,
I like
sorry.
That. Yeah. They deserve representation.
I'm RP, Brooklyn's newest, and I feel like the chief of staff didn't have anything to say because there's nothing good to say. Like, from the looks of everything, he doesn't look too good. Probably needed a couple more weeks, maybe a month or two.
Well, he's had
2 months. But you're right. I mean, them saying nothing is a clear sign that there's nothing good enough in their eyes to say yet.
Nothing good enough, and they're probably on orders.
Right.
Coming up.
Brooks Nader, the star of the new Baywatch, is doing a little Baywatching, not in California, but over in Europe. She is on vacation with her family in Sardinia.
Well, let's say her dad is doing some Baywatching.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Brooks Nader, the star of the new Baywatch, is doing a little Baywatching, not in California, but over in Europe. She is on vacation with her family in Sardinia.
Well, let's say her dad is doing some Baywatching.
The dad is definitely doing some sort of watching, it appears. Although, so here's the thing. Yes, in this photo, Brooks is topless. That's her dad and her sister. Mom is also there. Why is Brooks topless? I mean, you could say it's Europe. People do it.
People in this office, their panties got in a major bunch today. I'm really serious. It's like, this is Europe, and it's not that big a deal.
It's not a big deal to be topless in Europe. You're absolutely right. No argument there. And I'm sure her father knows that it's not a big deal to be topless in Europe. Does Dad want her to be topless in front of him?
Right.
Probably not.
Okay, hold on.
Like when you're flopping out your fun bags in front of your parents, it's weird.
Why?
Especially if you call them fun bags in front of your dad.
Like her dad is inches away. It's not like, oh, my dad's, down below in the boat.
He's not doing anything.
He's sitting right across from her, obviously made eye contact with her boobs.
I want to say, having watched Brooke's reality show, and I think part of this, if you really want to get to why she's topless, I think they were shooting some of this for their family reality show.
Of course they
And I've seen a couple episodes. I think her dad is a really cool guy. I want to defend him. If you go to the close-up of him, I think he is actually trying to avoid looking at. I think he might be looking at. Look, he's looking at the sister who's sitting down.
Sarah Ann.
Yes, and who is wearing her top.
In Europe, is it normal for and fathers and daughters to be butt booty naked as grown kids?
Yes, it's not.
Grown adults?
Yes, because they grow up that way. They don't have the same hang-ups we do.
You guys keep calling it a hang-up. It's not a hang-up.
It is
no
a
one
hang-up.
wants to
It
see
is a
their
hang-up.
dad.
It's a hang-up.
It's a hang-up. It's a
Thing.
human body. What's the big deal?
There are people who live in Italy who go on family vacations and the women are topless. And
Yeah, but
it's
it's
not a
not
big
the-
deal. I rest my case.
Hi, my name's Tony. I was named after Tony Tennille, ironically.
No, really? All right, we'll get to.
No.
Hold on. Don't derail her Brooks comment, and then we'll go back to Tony Tennille. Go ahead. Brooks.
I live outside of Philadelphia, and I have 2 teenage daughters, so I find it really odd. But I guess if you spend enough time in Europe, and maybe it becomes you're hanging out with everyone who's topless all the time, and both of them are like that, then maybe it becomes the norm. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So you were named after Tony Tennille? Swear to God?
Swear to God.
Oh my God. Okay.
My dad had a crush on Tony Tennille.
Okay, so you're gonna be the one who's deciding this.
Okay.
Charles,
you're from Philadelphia, you said?
She said Philly.
Okay.
Charles has doubts that at their height, the captain and Tennille could fill the
stadium.
Hollywood Bowl.
No,
You did.
Stadium.
You had doubts.
I like how you scaled it down now that even Eric.
We're going to go back up.
No.
What about the Hollywood Bowl?
I think they could fill it.
Yes, and I agree.
What about a stadium?
Yeah, see, again, it's the same reaction we got when we called Eric. You guys missed this because we were in commercial, but Eric said the same thing. He went, ooh.
But that doesn't mean no.
Oh, really? Well, AOC has made a huge decision. The question is it a political decision as well as a clearly personal family planning decision? The Congresswoman has announced that she is freezing her eggs. In fact, she posted a video showing herself giving herself the injections that will lead to the ovulation and the harvesting of the eggs, which she's going to freeze.
That is so interesting she's doing this. That's so interesting.
So beyond just a personal choice for reproduction, a lot of people think that this is a sign of her political ambition and what she's actually going to run for.
She is engaged and has been for several years.
More than a decade, I think, right?
Yeah, well, everyone's looking at this right now and thinking, oh my gosh, she's running for president. I would not jump to that conclusion.
What conclusion would you jump to,
I
Jacob?
would just say, as someone who sees AOC on a near daily basis, at least while she's in Washington, there is no one working like her. She is flooded with reporters, with people knocking on her door. No one is working like her. You can't compare her to another politician. So she just has a schedule that makes it impossible to have a kid. So I don't blame her for kicking it down the road. And I don't think it necessarily means she has presidential ambitions.
That's fair. Okay. That's totally fair. But does she?
Right now, some polls, which I think are
she's
unreliable,
ahead. She's ahead.
show her on the top. But I think it's just because she kind of is holding that far left part of the party. Again, a lot of reporting is suggesting she is not going to run for president, and rather she's going to run for Senate. Yes, because the assumption is that Chuck Schumer, the longtime senator of New York, is not going to run in 28, and even polls right now show her beating Schumer in a landslide if she ran against him.
Campaigning for president, certainly bigger stage than campaigning for senator, but a senatorial campaign is also pretty big.
But that's not why. I don't think that's why she.
You think she would
I don't think that's why she would do it.
You think it's she's at least leaving the door open for a presidential run?
I think she's pulling an Obama. I think she's running for Senate in 28, and she's going to run in 32 for president.
Could. Makes sense, but...
God, 32.
But again, the
32
the reason people are looking at is a political thing is if it was just, I want to have a baby, why wouldn't she do it now?
Because I just think she is so busy. Even if she's not running for office, it doesn't take away from the fact that she cannot be probably the mother, the attentive mother that she would want to be.
But she's not going to leave office. It's not like in 4-6 years you expect her to be out of politics. She's still going to be in an office, don't you think?
At the rate that this country's going, I mean, who knows what 6 years looks like.
Coming up. So a lot of Usher fans think he's taken a little time off in the middle of his tour with Chris Brown because even though he seemed to be on stage singing and dancing, some of them think this video you're looking at here is actually a body double.
Why do they think that?
Be right back. So a lot of Usher fans think he's taken a little time off in the middle of his tour with Chris Brown because even though he seemed to be on stage singing and dancing, some of them think this video you're looking at here is actually a body double.
Why do they think that?
I have no idea. I watched the video, listened to the video. Sounds like Usher. I guess they could say, oh, he's lip syncing.
He doesn't really wear. He doesn't really wear like outfits like that.
Like Usher, but is the outfit different?
It was like the outfit was like kind of like throwing us off.
Where was the concert? Do we know where this show was? Because maybe that would explain the outfit that.
What would make you wear that? Like Atlanta?
Miami.
Depending on where they were playing. I don't know.
It
maybe
doesn't
he felt
matter.
like that outfit fit.
But the one
Jersey?
thing.
Everything goes in Jersey.
Yeah,
That's
like,
not Jersey.
Everything goes in Jersey. But
it's just a very un-Usher outfit. He did dance, it was fine. When the side profile, it did look a little different. So, but the one thing that I knew immediately that it was Usher because if you're an Usher fan, he has like a bulge on one of his like abs. And you could see the bulge, like
there's
right
a
there.
fan,
It's
and
right
then
there.
there's maybe you need a restraining
No,
order.
it's like a known thing. When he takes his shirt off, you see it. And so yeah, Usher definitely saw people were talking about him.
Well,
and
yes,
responded.
he actually saw the post that went viral on TikTok, and he actually commented on one of them. Said, "Y'all are funny. Clone? They can't clone this." And then he said something about AI isn't that good.
Yeah.
Isn't that good yet?
There's AI advanced.
You know what's funny is that you would think Chris Brown would get all the heat, during the concert. We haven't heard a peep about Chris Brown.
Why would he get the heat?
He's just over there doing his thing.
We don't talk about that. People that are going to the show, she's over it. We're over it. He's over it.
No, we're just saying. Yes, it was a compliment. He's saying that Chris
no
Brown
one's even thinking about that.
It was a compliment. He's saying that Chris Brown.
Every weekend, we put polls up on the website to find out how you feel about things that we posted last week. We did the same thing this weekend, and here are the results.
All right. Whose side you on? Anthony Fauci or Rand Paul? This is going to be Paul.
I don't know. Yeah.
Really?
Kind of thought that too.
Huh.
Ariana Grande's appearance. No one should comment or fair game. Folks are concerned. They're going to say that. They are going to say that. And they did. And they did.
Trump cheats at golf. No doubt. Or ridiculous. He has game. This is a no doubt. This is 92%.
No, I was going to say 81.
Yeah. Okay.
Next. Who lasts longer? Justin and Katie or Scooter and Sydney?
Ooh. Justin and Katie, they're going to say.
I don't think so.
They're going to go because they're older.
I don't think so.
Sydney's younger. Yeah, they're going to go for the older couple.
Okay,
right?
Last one.
Okay, my life post-COVID. I've moved on, or I'm still reeling from it.
They're going to say that. I think they're going to say still reeling. Wow.
Most have moved on.
I'm really surprised.
Well, 82% say they moved on, but have they really?
I don't know.
Yeah. Coming up. This is a couple that makes sense. I think it's very cool that apparently Michael B. Jordan and the singer Raye, they make a great couple. What doesn't make sense is where they went on, I hope this wasn't first date, but they went.
It's fun.
To Six Flags.
It's not a celebrity date.
Be right back. Okay, part of this I love. This is a couple that makes sense. I think it's very cool that apparently Michael B. Jordan and the singer Raye.
By the way, I thought this was Raye until like 2 hours ago.
You know Raye sings that song,
Yeah.
Where the Hell's My Husband? I think they make a great couple. What doesn't make sense is where they went on, I hope this wasn't first date, but they went.
It's fun.
To Six Flags Magic Mountain here in Southern California, in Santa Clarita. And Michael B. Jordan and Raye were just riding the roller coasters along with everybody else.
Why is that
it's
so
not
bad?
even like Michael B. like a flex would be. I mean, he's Michael B. Jordan, right?
So?
This
and
is
I know,
not-
like,
this
you know,
is-
rent out the whole park.
It's not a
So you haven't-
celebrity date. When you think of us,
Right,
I want
it's
to
not
see them out at
exactly.
a fancy dinner. I want to see him courting her, not riding in the 5th seat of the King to
I
Cop.
understand you would like that.
I
but
would like that.
They are living their lives.
I just
But
think
not
that's
the
their
way-
life. But the other part of it,
It's
is
not right.
The other part of it, it's just I gotta be
Take your
annoying for
woman
them.
out.
Can you be in Michael B. Jordan walking around Six Flags? How many times
go
are
back
people
to-
going?
go back
hey,
to the
hey,
picture.
aren't you Michael B. Jordan? Hey, can I get a photo? Hey, can I get a photo?
What about the
doing
woman?
that?
And Raye also.
Who's doing that?
Well, they can't do it while the ride's happening.
Okay, good.
The second they get off the ride,
Yeah.
why do you think someone was even
They're
recording it?
videotaping them. And then what? You
Right.
have chicken fingers and Diet
They're
Coke for lunch?
having
No way.
fun. Let them.
Yeah. Where's the
have
gourmet meal?
their
That really?
fun.
When's the last time you've been to Six Flags?
A while.
A while.
I was young.
So a really long time ago.
Hi, I'm Georgia Blue from London. And in the words of Raye, she was looking for her husband and she's literally found everyone's dream husband. I personally wouldn't have put these two together, but I think they work so well. And Six Flags doesn't look like a first date to me. I think they look like they've had quite a few. And I actually think it's like a great
That's
date
a
idea
good point.
as well.
It's not a first date.
I guess it's going.
That's a good
if
point.
it's not a first date,
That's a good
maybe,
point.
but I still think
It's a first date as far as we know.
so. The answer to her song, if your husband is at Six Flags, do you still want him?
Come on. God.
Coming up.
Martha Stewart will never, ever stop. Never stop. At 85, she is still as glamorous as ever.
Of all the people we've covered, she's at the top of the food chain.
Be right back.
Martha Stewart will never, ever stop. Never stop. At 85, she is still as glamorous as ever, maybe even more glamorous. And in fact, she had a little meeting with celebrity stylist Chris Appleton. And guess what? She now has something in common with a very famous singer.
Ah, she does.
Watch this.
Pull yourself together. We have work to do. And by we, I mean you.
Pink! That's right. Martha's gone pink.
And she looks really good.
It works. It works
looks-
for her.
God, I am.
She.
Of all the people we've covered, she's at the top of the food chain. That she went way down and has risen, I think, in some ways, higher than before.
Really? I think I agree with you on the higher than before.
She's cool
But
at
part of
85.
it is, yeah, you know, everyone loves a comeback.
She's got cred.
Okay, she's never done that, nor should you. How many times do I have to tell you, stop with the...
See you tomorrow.
Bye.